All right, folks, welcome back. Attorney Jay Davis is here from James W. Davis and Associates for our It's the Law segment. We're talking about a recent topic that's come up in Washington as both chambers of commerce, Jay, have voted to reauthorize the FISA Act. And before we get into some of the specifics of why that's been controversial and why Democrats and Republicans have both said yes or no to it, what is the basics of what this act is? It's a reauthorization.
Well, what it actually does is allows, under certain parameters, the ability to go out and actually surveil people, sometimes within the country, in order to get somebody that's outside of the country. So it's Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. So that's the FISA. So that's going to, it's designed and it's specifically supposed to be limited to target people outside of the United States, because inside the U.S., we supposedly enjoy a right, freedom from
privacy. And
that's right.
Now, this is sort of a bipartisan issue. Both Republicans and Democrats voted yes. Some Republicans and Democrats voted no.
That's true.
Why is it like that, and why is this a little bit controversial?
There's a lot of people. There's, you know, the libertarians, for example, they just think the government should stay out of everything.
Sure.
There's a sort of this array of people who want the government to be in everything and people who want the government to be in nothing. And then a lot of people will trade certain things, certain rights away for some protection.
Right.
So a lot of the Republicans and Democrats have accepted that people inside the United States are going to be sort of swept up to some degree by this theoretical surveillance of somebody outside of the country.
The goal, of course, is to get terrorists. And there's some Americans who are worried that, oh boy, you know, if I know I'm not a terrorist, of course, but I could be swept up in some of the collection.
There's a lot, and that's true. A lot of them are worried about getting swept up, and there's a lot of people who say, you know what, I'm not guilty of any of that. I'm sure it's not going to affect me.
They don't have nothing to worry about.
But the problem is, and this is the same thing that affects local law enforcement, is when you have law enforcement officers at whatever level who are allowed to sort of act and police themselves, they won't. And that's what's happening here. So it's the same thing that creates the Black Lives movement. You know, people in defense attorneys like I am, or people in certain communities, usually poorer communities, see law enforcement sort of overstep their boundaries, see law enforcement not do exactly, sort of skirt the truth and the thing. So that's what the problem is with this, you know, why it's coming so particular at this time. Partly because of the use of it, particularly against Trump. That's where all the things have come out. That's where the tweets have come out, where you go, is he for it, is he against it? You don't know, because tweets one way, it looks this way. But it's the misuse of it that's the problem. And as long as the community as a whole is accepting that some people are going to be brought up into this, you just got to make sure we limit it. You know, we don't want leaders like Comey was. You know, you say he looks like an outstanding person, just like law enforcement does on the stand, but he looks like it, but then he's not. You know, that's where the problem lies.
All right, Jay, thanks for breaking it down for us. As always, great explanation, man. You just get that from this guy. If there's a question you want answered or a topic for Jay to discuss, happy to do that. Just send us an email to itsthelaw@41nbc.com. Let's head back to the desk, get that last look at your weather.